What is up, everybody? The Lore Reloaded here, live with the Anti-Trekker on both Twitch and YouTube Live, as it were. We're still getting stuff set up because this is new to all of us, so it's going to give me a second while I make sure everything's running everywhere that it needs to go. Because we should be, in theory, both live on Perfect World. We should be live on our Twitch. And we're just making sure that all that's getting set up. While we're getting that set up, you can check us out at twitter.com/Lore Reloaded, as well as facebook.com/Lore Reloaded. This year on Facebook, we haven't been doing a ton, but that is completely about to change starting in 2018. And while I am still checking on a couple of things, let me tell you, next week, I will not be doing any content. I'm going to be having a big push in 2018 with some major stuff coming out that you're really going to want to stay tuned. But I'm still going to have content come out. I'm asking some of my favorite YouTubers that I watch to do some guest videos every day. Anti-Trekker will be doing one, and he is worth his weight when it comes to actually just watching him for Trek, watching him for Marvel, DC. Does a lot of great things. Definitely go ahead and check him out if you haven't, and it's Anti-Trekker. If you go on there, it'll also be included in the description. While I'm making sure this Twitch is working, Anti-Trekker, how you doing, sir?
What does that mean?
What does what mean? You
said I'm worth my weight.
You know what? Forget it. Don't subscribe to him. In fact, if you're subscribed, unsubscribe. It's not worth it.
I'm just asking. I don't know what I've heard, like, hey, he's worth his weight in gold, or something like.
That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, well, you just said worth his weight. So I was like, what? Where's
Atola Zelos? How you doing? Jay McKellar, you doing well?
So, by the way, you are showing live on the Lore Reloaded Twitch channel. However, you are not showing live on
the Perfect World.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing is showing up on the Perfect World channel that you gave me.
Going exactly to plan. So I tell you what, we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways today. So let's get that started off. So if you're watching this right now and you want to be a part of the giveaway, go ahead and tweet to let's see, let me get his name real quick. I got to make sure it's right. Yeah, that's not working, unfortunately. That's exactly what I expected to happen. All right, guys. So I want you to send a tweet to @lorereloaded.com and let's see, Trek Online Game. TREKONLINEGAME. So @Trek Online Game, as well as @Lore Reloaded, and let them know how hyped, how excited you are to be here. Even if you don't want to be a part of the giveaway, just let them know. Just be like, hey, I'm really excited about this. And in the next 5 minutes, we'll be doing a giveaway for Trek Online. And I don't know what we'll give away. I'll take a look at what I have while we're doing that. And since that's not working, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my other one. Yeah, I'll send them a message tomorrow letting them know that did not work out according to plan. But still, we have my Twitch working, which is always a positive. Always excited when that happens.
Yes, and I'm watching your Twitch live, and I see that the chat room is currently empty.
Yeah, you can tell that I've grown an audience when it comes to that, right? So, what is going on? I'm going to say hi to Michelle Lato. Anti-Trekker sounds very familiar. Maybe you know her. We have Jay McKellar, The Right Gamers. Anti-Trekker is the Mirrorverse lore. That's true. That is true. We also have...
I think Lore is the Mirror Universe Anti-Trekker, to be honest.
Either or. Either or, you know, it could be. Could be.
Although, actually, well, I have to say, I am the one with the goatee, so I guess he got me there.
It's true. It's true.
Dang it. All right.
Actually, don't we both... Well, I used to have a goatee, and then I kind of shaved it off because I'm dumb. I am, in fact, dumb.
Well, we can both agree on that, at least.
It brings us together, good sir.
Yeah.
It absolutely brings us together. All right, so I will go ahead and bring up and do the giveaway. There we go. Let me see. And today I'm going to be trying out the Christmas... what is it? The Christmas trial. So you'll get to see me fail. I have never done that. So we are going to be attempting that today. And while we're doing that, Michael, or Anti-Trekker, what we're going to be talking about today is the new media Trek. Is it a betrayal of the original series, as well as possibly the next generation. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is I'm talking about JJ-verse, I'm talking about Discovery, and I'm even talking about Star Trek Online. And I'm sure I kind of know what your answer is going to be here. But let's start with Star Trek Online, since that's what we're talking about. Do you think Star Trek Online betrays the original series? And be as honest as you want to be.
I wouldn't say betrays. I mean, because obviously Star Trek Online is not considered canon within Trek. It's a game based on Trek. I think it's a fun enough game, but there are some things I would definitely change about it, but that's just me. And I think it's a lot of fun just to have a starship and be able to blow up other starships. That's my favorite thing. I wish there was, and I know that this is something because I've been away from the game for a couple of years. I'm actually a lifetime subscriber from when the game first launched. Played it heavily for that first year, and then I kind of walked away from it and got into some other things. Now I'm getting back into it, and they've added some original series content, which I'm excited about, but haven't been playing because I've been trying to level up a later era character so I can be part of your fleet because you're an idiot and won't be on the original series timeline. But no, I would not call it a betrayal because a video game franchise and a mainstream franchise on television or film are not inherently the same. I know some people were getting all worked up over Battlefront 2 and Star Wars The Last Jedi. You know, Battlefront 2 is a game, The Last Jedi is a film. I don't consider them related, other than the fact that it's kind of cool to be able to use the equipment you see in your favorite movies or TV shows. Now, when you get to the JJ-verse and Discovery, does JJ-verse betray the original series? No, because I think that they come up with an interesting in-universe explanation for the alternate timeline. You could kind of sort of say it might betray fans of the Next Generation in the simple fact that, well, Next Generation never happens in the JJ-verse. However, Discovery, yeah. Because Discovery just completely craps all over continuity, and that's the problem I have with Discovery. It's not that it's different. It's not that they have a little bit more liberal political agenda. It's just the fact that they crap all over continuity for the sake of their political agenda, I don't like.
Okay. And just so you guys know, we'll be playing this and talking at the same time, which I am not the best at, so I may ask Anti-Tracker to repeat himself a couple of times, which I know he loves doing, so that's not really going to be a huge deal. I'm also attempting to play the Christmas thing, and I'm looking for that, and as you can see, I didn't try it. I didn't even go near it, because I wanted to do it as a special thing for this. But the unfortunate piece to that is I'm not sure where Q is, so you're going to get to me watch that. If you have ever watched me play this, you know I am a filthy casual, which means I don't know this in and out. So there is that. Now, so you said JJ-verse you weren't too upset about. Discovery you think that it did. Can you expand a little more into why you think... why JJ-verse wouldn't be, but Discovery is? Because both of them really have a lot of explosions and a lot of guns.
Yeah, but it's and that's the thing. It's like, remember, my issue with Discovery is not that it has more action than the original series. I think that the original series would have had more action had they had the ability to produce it at the level they can produce it today.
Right.
It's not, ooh, there's too many explosions that makes it bad. It's they're crapping all over continuity. The JJ-verse has an in-universe explanation for changes in continuity. The reason that the technology is different, the reason that the rules of the Federation might be a little bit different, the reason that even the individuals may look or act a little bit different is all explained through the change in the timeline that happened when Nero went back and messed up the timeline. So I like that fact that there is an in-universe explanation for it. For Discovery, now I know the first season's not done yet. Who knows what'll happen by the end of season 1? But at least so far, it seems like Discovery just kind of craps all over it. It's like, oh no, it's okay. We've had this stuff all along. We just didn't know.
Right.
And like the holographic communications and stuff like that. People try to write it off as like, well, there are examples of them using holograms in original series canon. Well, there's examples of Kirk and Spock and stuff seeing holograms. There's not examples of the Federation using it. Not to the level that they're using it on the show.
Right. Well, I agree. They seem to care in JJ Verse more, I think.
Well, and this is the other problem I have, is that this show takes place supposedly in the Prime timeline, and yet the design of the ships is clearly based on the JJ Verse.
Right.
And again, I don't hate the JJ Verse, but why don't they just say this takes place in the JJ Verse? That would make a lot more sense. I know the answer to that is it's a rights issue.
Right.
But that's a major problem, because the fact that the aesthetic of the show looks like one thing while they're trying to say something else is a little distracting. And if they had just honestly made this a JJ Verse show, it would be working a whole lot better.
Right. Well, and just to bring up, as you guys know, this is a conversation. So when you guys talk, we'll definitely talk with you, which makes my gameplay a lot better, let me tell you.
I just died.
What, you just died? Fantastic. From Twitch, we have the college student that says, JJ doesn't carry any of the spirit of Trek. The script for Beyond was rejected for being too Star Trek-y by the studio. They aren't interested in keeping the spirit alive, and it reflects obviously in the film.
I'm not sure why the script for Beyond obviously didn't get rejected because the film was made.
Maybe they mean the first script.
I don't know. I know that, and I have a big problem, by the way, with I know the college student's probably a perfectly nice person, and I hope I'm not stepping on you too much here, but the biggest problem I have with Star Trek Discovery is it is not too Star Trek. In fact, if anything, it's more like Star Trek Discovery than any other film, in that they try to overtly make Star Trek into this political thing. The problem with Star Trek is, while it's always had a progressive philosophy behind it, it's not been an overtly let's get in your face and shove all this down your throat kind of thing. And that changed with Star Trek Beyond, and it changed a lot with Star Trek Discovery. And the problem is that when you do that, and this is something that I'm actually in my review that I'm working on for The Last Jedi, there's a similar situation. You end up alienating a large portion of your audience, because as much as people hate to admit it, no matter what your political beliefs are, half the country disagrees with you, assuming you're in the United States. And that's just a simple fact. It's not everybody is a liberal, not everybody is a conservative. So no matter what you happen to think, half the people are against you. Then you take the idea of some of the liberal stuff from Star Trek, which I'm okay with, and take these stupid ideas like that Starfleet is not the military. All right, and I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're one of those people, great, have a blast with it, but you're just wrong. To try and suggest Starfleet is not the military, well, then you show me who the fighting force of the Federation is that is not Starfleet. And if you say Section 31 is not the military. If anything, they would be more akin to the CIA. They manipulate Starfleet, the military, but they are not the military. But in Star Trek Beyond, the whole plot revolves around the idea that this guy's disgruntled because the military was disbanded and replaced with Starfleet.
Right.
And yeah, just it's just silly in my mind. But I'm sorry, don't mean to go on a tangent.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Brandon G says, I think 90% of the audience agrees with Anti on the military thing. I think most people actually do on the military thing.
But, you know, there's still these people out there, and it just bugs me because it's like maybe, and I think part of the reason that it bugs me so much is that I served in the United States military. I understand what the purpose of the military is. And, you know, when you look at the lore of Star Trek as a whole, what the Federation does fills that role, you know. And yes, they do other things as well. And like they said in Star Trek 6 so well is, you know, that the Starfleet has research and exploration programs, but when they were talking about, you know, a ceasing of hostilities with the Klingons, all the bigwigs at Starfleet were worried that this meant the end of Starfleet.
Right. I'm still listening to you, but for those who can see my screen, Q is sitting in a big-ass throne that can't be missed. If you had just walked from the transporter and walked straight and looked a little bit to the left...
Oh, shoot, I walked right past him, probably. So what does he do?
He gives you a Christmas thing or a holiday thing, depending on how you want to phrase it.
Wait, he just gives you a present?
No, you get to go through a
special mission or something?
Yeah. All right, for those watching, I am going to go to my Twitch and put in a Scorpion key. So whoever wants to get the Scorpion key, it's for a Scorpion fighter, of course. What is a Scorpion key? Do you even game, dude? Do you even game? Seriously.
Oh, so I see you actually put the key in the Twitch, so anybody can grab it, and just whoever the first one to redeem it gets it?
Yep, that's exactly how that works.
So I could grab it right now.
Yeah, don't do that. It's probably already been grabbed, though.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that, you know, you won't share with me.
That is exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I am saying.
I just want to make sure I understand you.
So there was a question on YouTube that talked about Kane or the genetics wars. I agree.
The eugenics wars?
Yeah.
What about them?
I don't know. I missed it.
Well,
in canon series, Argo Tungsten says, in the canon series, Starfleet was not seen as a military. So let me go ahead and address that a little bit, and then I'm going to talk to Q, and I'll let you...
canon series?
Yeah, I'm assuming maybe he's going with the original series. Here's what we've always talked about. Michelle Leto first says, I love Discovery a lot, and I'm a huge Trek fan. That's great. If you like Discovery, God be with you. I'm glad that you can enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. But going back, in the original series, from what I've watched, and from the movies, the original series, it really was, it felt like Starfleet was both a military and a science, with a huge science branch. And it almost feels like, in the original series, it's almost 50-50 or maybe 60-40, with the 60 being military and the 40 being science. As the Cold War heated up, it seemed like it was campy. So you have to see between the lines, but it felt like as they started getting more and more in the Klingons, it maybe moved to a 70-30, and especially in the movies, it moved to 70 military, 30 science. Then in the Next Generation, they decided to completely give all of that up. And basically, we're a science, a 90% science with a 10% military, and then they went back and went the other way in DS9. What were you about to say?
Well, first of all, there are direct references in the original series of Kirk calling himself a soldier first.
Right.
And so, I know that, you know, in Next Generation, really, that's the first time we ever get any inkling that Starfleet is not the military, with Star Trek: The Next Generation, because Picard actually said it a couple of times. And the problem is that, well, that just kind of goes to show that Picard is either an idiot or the writers at the time were idiots. And really, even then, it's mainly focused on the first season of Next Generation. which, if you look at Star Trek as a whole, when Gene Roddenberry had creative control, it was the first season of Next Gen, Star Trek the Motion Picture, and the original pilot. The original series was actually not under his direct control. He had some creative input, but not to the level of being what we call in the modern term a showrunner.
Right.
He was not the showrunner. Desi Liu was, and so the problem therein is that the Federation was set up as the military. Gene Roddenberry didn't like that idea, despite the fact that Gene Roddenberry is a combat veteran, which I find hilarious. And so then he tried to retcon it to not being the military, even though that makes zero sense. Because if, again, you can argue semantics all day long, but if a military, by definition, is the fighting force for a nation or country or nationality, and if Starfleet is not the military, then simply show me who is. Then I will shut up and never mention it again. The problem is that anytime the Federation is attacked, who responds? Starfleet. Anytime the Federation needs to send even Picard was sent on covert operations to sneak into Cardassian space, creating one of the best episodes people love, There Are Four Lights. That was a military mission. Wow. So I'm sorry, it's indisputable, except that there are a couple of times where the writers are like, oh, we're going to throw our doctrine in here this month and say it's not the military.
Well, and what's interesting, and you may have said this, but just to piggyback off, some of the stuff that was written is contradictory to itself too, I think, in that, and I think you referenced this, and I apologize if you did, but when he was saying that he's not a military, but they're preparing for a fight with the Borg in the exact same episode.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a military, but it's good for us to be. And I mean, Riker's just insufferable in that too. He's like, it's a small province of a captain to have a fight. I mean, Are you serious?
And and how many times do we see, like, for example, in Best of Both Worlds, there's kind of a neat scene of the episode where Picard is walking around the Enterprise, in a rather somber way, dealing with the fact that the Enterprise is going into a battle that it cannot win. Right. And he talks to Guinan about how it's a naval tradition.
Right.
To tour your vessel before a battle. And, well, guess what? Navy is the military.
Right.
He didn't say, oh, well, it's a merchant marine tradition that when you're taking a shipment of cargo or going on an exploration mission and you might die, you should tour your ship. No. Starfleet is not the merchant marine. Starfleet is not, a National Geographic. Starfleet is the military of the Federation.
Right. I thought her, and I'm about to start playing something soon, guys. I'm actually just looking around, seeing looking around. I've never seen the Winter Wonderland, so I was just looking around it. Her response to him, I think, was kind of frustrating too. When he's like, "Is this the end of humanity? Turn the page." And she was like, "Well, as long as some of you survive, humanity always." That's stupid.
But that's kind of part of that. That's just Gene Roddenberry's philosophy.
Right. But yeah, it never was a military. It was a military. By the way, for you guys who are watching, we're here to talk about anything, really. I'm playing this. I'm about to give another giveaway in the YouTube live stream. Michael, can you do me a favor? Can you go to Perfect World again and see if they've started hosting us yet?
Yes, they have.
Oh, wow. How many people are there?
I don't know. There's one person.
Fantastic.
And it's funny. It says, what do I need to say to get a Scorpion key?
Ha!
From Crazed Mike. So, hey, Crazed Mike, if you're there, say something now, and I'll bet you James will work something out with you.
Yeah, it makes me want to give him a key now. Klingon ice fishing for... What am I supposed to take part in the Klingon year tradition? Go ice fishing and use fish to lure a Kosari to the surface.
Crazed Mike is there.
Okay, hold on. Alright, Crazed Mike, because Michael made me chuckle, you get the advantages to that. So what I'd like you to do is tweet at Lore Reloaded. Except, now I gotta think of a way. Can you send messages via Twitch? Crazy Mike is on my is on that. So here's what you do, Crazy Mike. Just shoot me a message on Star Trek Online, and I'll get you one because I know you're there. Oh wow, some people are getting upset about that. That's fantastic.
You're gonna get like 75 messages from everybody claiming to be Crazy Mike.
No, I'm already friends with him. I know who it is exactly.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
What?
Hold on. Shh.
I mean, shh.
Shh. Mayor Truffles is talking to me.
Mayor Truffles?
Yeah, Mayor Truffles. Shh. Mayor Truffles.
You realize people are trying to watch the live stream and you're telling everybody to just be quiet while you listen to Mary Truffles and they can't hear it.
Hold on. Snowballs and snow guns. Okay, I gotta get me some weapons. Where do I got some snowballs, but I need something. Oh, snowballs. All right, take snowballs. Oh my God, he sounded like the dude from Shrek, the gingerbread. Sounded just like that dude.
Well, it looked like a gingerbread man from what I saw on the screen.
Yeah, it's excellent. Oh, by the way, thank you for whoever did that. Oh Jesus, what are we doing? Where do I get a gun? Maybe I should actually try playing the game. Ah, I went out. Where do I get a gun? Come on, gotta kill some people. Gotta kill people.
Wow, see.
Wow, they're just slaughtering it. We're committing genocide on a massive scale. Take that! Ah! Oh yeah! For the Empire!
And by the way, the college student mentioned on the Twitch feed that primary purpose of Starfleet from its infancy was to seek out new life and new civilizations and to go boldly where no man has gone before, which is, of course, from the first episode of Enterprise. And this is the core problem with retconning, which, Enterprise did a lot of. To its credit, I mean, it was a prequel series, so they kind of really had to. But, so what they do is they just do a bunch of things that are in direct conflict with the original series, and then just say, oh, no, that's the way it's always been. Yeah.
Right.
Why do I see Star Wars on your screen?
You should not see Oh, that was somebody who joined. I was about to say, you shouldn't see Star Wars.
I saw Porkins on your screen.
That's because someone subscribed. They became a lore apprentice. You can become a lore apprentice by subscribing. Get your name on the thing. Where is everybody? Why am I dying? Oh, God. Stop. I can't move. Can't move. Kirk took that message to heart. Let's see. The college student says the primary purpose of Starfleet from its infancy. Oh, you read that.
Yeah. By the way, Crazed Mike is saying that there's a typo in your fleet name.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So he knows Crazed Mike, but he doesn't care.
No, I know Crazed Mike. I don't care about the.
No,
I don't care. What are you talking about?
See, I'm telling you, you don't care.
I do care. Crazed Mike, I'm gonna get it to you after I get done.
No,
playing this game.
You don't care about the typo.
What can I do about it right now? I've already known about it. I just need to have them. I got to contact an admin to change it. Because it's Guardians I spelled wrong. Because I'm stupid.
Well, yeah. Again, we can agree on that.
Well, yeah. Oh, my God. I'm going to get some lollipops. No, not lollipops.
Lollipops.
They're not. Don't talk to me like that. We got Jacob Faulkner joining. What's going on? Oh, demonetized.
Demonetized?
Yeah, demonetized is a big deal on YouTube.
What are you talking about?
Let me kill you. Oh my God, what the heck is that? That's an abomination.
Demonetized as a person? Or
no, so demonetized, YouTube has the adpocalypse going on. So if you say something or something they don't like, they call it demonetized. And so I said the word Faulkner, which is the dude's name. Mm-hmm. And because it's so close.
For that?
Yeah, it's a joke. Everybody says they're demonetized because they say bad words. It's an ongoing joke.
Yeah.
I am out of stuff. Hold on. All right, I'm going to do a giveaway right now. I'm sure the people who I'm playing with really appreciate this. It's going to be a Tier 1 Barolf. Going right here. Hey, looks like I got the first one from Twitch. Not sure what was won. Reclaim the code, but not sure what it was. Should have been, it was either a Scorpion fight. No, it was a KDF, ODF pack. So you get officers. You should have been getting officers from it.
So you lied? It wasn't a Scorpion
No,
fighter?
I gave away a Scorpion fighter as well. I said it was the first one. The second one was the fighter.
Yeah.
Jay McKellar says, Jay McKellar says, can I kill you? Sure, if you want to. By the way, we're going to keep this on the... I'm going to trust you guys not to get multiple codes. If you get a code, don't get another one.
Which means that people are going to get multiple codes.
That's exactly what that means. Hey, can you go to the Twitch for Perfect World and see if there's anything talking about there?
Yeah, we got Crazed Mike on there, who's saying that if you're the fleet leader, you can change it at any time, talking about your name, so you should be correcting your name.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And he also wants to know if he's going to get the Scorpion code by in-game mail.
No, yes, you will. Yes, I will send it to you in-game. Yes. Meet me under the tree over 3. Meet me over the tree. I don't know where the tree is. Are you talking about near Q or the race coordinator? Apparently someone wants to kill me, so let's get that understood. I'm sure you would appreciate that.
Well.
All right, whoever wants to kill me, I am next to the race coordinator. Come up and kill me. You can't start this. Crazed Tormentless. That's Crazed Mike. Who's playing a chick, or maybe a chick. I don't know. It's because YouTube censoredness is over the top. Don't trust people. Is this Commander Salvor? Wow, I got a lot of people joining me. Nothing but women.
Yeah, sure. Women.
Well, I mean, they're avatars.
You're playing Star Trek Online.
Actually, I have a bigger female audience than you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I know. Female in...
No, I mean actual female. Okay, I mean, you can choose not to, but that's okay. I'm going to play the fastest game on ice.
I'm just saying... that Star Trek created the stereotype of nerds being virgins forever.
No, it didn't. Stop. Stop saying stuff like that. I want to still be able to do this. What am I doing right here? I'm going to talk to this guy. What's going on, guy? Signal race official. I walked up right to him and then waved in his face. Oh, this is going to be fun.
So what?
I'm racing now, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Racing that dude?
I'm racing somebody.
So
oh, this is not easy.
What's the point of the race?
To win? So, let me ask you this. I'm going to make it hard for you. What, I'm sure I'm not supposed to be doing this. What do you like about Discovery? Name something Discovery does well.
The visual effects are top-notch.
For Trek.
What do you mean?
What about Trek does it do well? Stop. This guy's beating me.
What specifically about Trek?
Yeah, what does it do well in regards to Trek?
Wow.
How is this guy not... Oh, now I got Salvor who thinks he's funny because he's doing it well.
I got to think about that. I mean, because, you know,
So we had someone... Wow, what the heck is going on here?
I can't think of anything that's Trek-specific that they do well. I can only say that the visual effects are very nice, production value overall is very good. But as far as... Why are you running sideways into the woods?
Because I'm running on ice!
Well, you're not very good at it.
I'm so glad I have you on this. Can I just say that I'm really, really glad.
Well, it's kind of hilarious to watch.
It's kind of hilarious to watch.
You're really bad at this, aren't you? Are you in last place?
I failed because I went into the forest. You're not allowed to get so far off. So there's someone who said they really liked it, and I forget the name.
I thought it was Michelle something.
Okay, so if Michelle, if you're still watching, which I hope you are, because then again, Michael, anti-tracker.
Hey, girl, I know. You
All
think
right,
it's really
there
a
you
girl.
go.
I know.
I think it's really a girl. Wow, one wonders why you don't have... Anyway.
I don't have what?
Nothing. I don't want to finish it. Nothing.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Michelle, if you're still watching, let me know. Well, whoever. If someone likes it, if you're a Discovery fan, tell me what about it you like. And if it ties back to any of the previous ones.
By previous ones, I believe you mean previous Trek, correct?
Yeah, right. Previous ones. Previous episodes. Or series. Racist.
So they like that it's racist.
No, someone just called us racist, apparently.
Oh. Are we racist? Or are you a racist? Oh, because
I am in fact not racist.
Because you said the ones, yeah. So you're a racist, yeah.
Why am I a racist again?
Because you referred to Star Trek as the other ones.
Okay.
So that makes you racist, apparently.
Called it. One good thing about STD, the music is the best.
Which I'm okay with. You know, I am perfectly okay.
You're perfectly okay with what?
Music is the best since TNG Season 3. I don't particularly care for the theme song, but I'll give you that. I think that the music is pretty good. But again, I wouldn't consider that something Trek specific, because like I said before, I think the overall production value of the show is the best produced Star Trek show, period. I don't think that there's any arguing that it's a badly produced show.
You know, I don't even hate any of the... I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't hate any of the actors. I may think that some of them don't portray their species well, but I don't think they're bad actors.
Right, but that goes back to production. You know, it's like when... but like, when you talk about Star Trek specifics, then you got to be talking about lore, or, you know, the way they treat things that are specific to Trek, and which they don't, especially if you're considering Prime Universe Trek as opposed to JJ Verse, because everything about the style of it reeks of the JJ Verse. You know, like the way that their warp drive works, the way that they, you know, everything looks. It feels like the JJ Verse, but for some reason they're saying it's Prime.
Yeah, I don't like being lied to. I agree.
Yeah. So if we're talking Prime Universe, there's nothing about this show that feels like Trek to me, except for the fact... Well, okay, I'll give you this. I like the badges. There you go. And the badges are specifically Trek because they're the Delta Shield badge. I found something. I like the badges. How's that?
It's great, Michael. It's great. I just won. That's right.
Did you win the race?
I did. My house. Walked into my house, Michael. Anti-tracker, whatever your name is. Walked into my house.
And so did you actually win a prize for beating them?
Oh, I got no idea how that works. I think so. What's funny is there were like 6 people who know how to play this part that I don't, that was running around me. Mm-hmm. Like it was the funniest thing. The college student says the books are nice. Ace of the Base says, and remember, tact can be tanks, DPS. I've been questing. Oh, they're all talking about the actual game.
Yeah.
Who goes their wife? Who hurt them? What? Yes, the aesthetics are semi. That was some epic cheating lore, says the right. I don't think I was cheating. I guess he's talking about maybe how I kind of went in the snow a couple of times. I couldn't help it. It was sending me into the snow.
Uh-huh.
It was. Anyway.
The game made me win.
It really did. Ooh, can I get something here? Talk to Winter EPOL researcher. I don't care about that.
Discovery had better conflict, makes it more real, right? Because McCoy had totally no bias against Spock. The boots are nice. I like that.
You know, here's the thing. So here's something I think.
All right, you tell me something Star Trek-y about the Discovery that you like?
Well, I think that the way they react to the war, some of the actors, like Lorca, is more realistic. And I think it's more, it is more consistent to what we saw in the movies specifically. Like the fact that Lorca has PTSD somewhat reminds me of, and I'm not saying exact, but the damage that Kirk had when he lost his son.
Right.
So I will say, I think realism in that instance I like.
Well, but that's not a Trekkie specific thing. That's the thing. When you were saying, tell me something that's Star Trek specific, I think about like, okay, what's something Star Trek specific? The Klingons are Star Trek specific. The Vulcans are Star Trek specific. The technology is Star Trek specific. Did they do any of these types of things better or as good as any other Star Trek show? And I can't honestly think of anything that is a staple of Trek that they did particularly well. And yeah, they did some interesting new things. Like, I do think that the acting is really good. I think that Lorca is actually a very interesting character. But having an interesting character is not a Star Trek thing. That's just good character building. It's a sign of a good actor who, you know, I can't remember the guy's name, but even though he sounds like he's a jerk on a personal level, he's a very good actor. And, you know, but that doesn't make it Trek. That just makes it well made.
So, Honair says something. Not Tim. Hold on. Jonathan Stevie says Discovery helps Trek by putting something with Trek on TV/stream. So here's my opinion on that. I think the JJ verse did that. I think it revitalized the franchise. And I think the trade-off on that was worth it because, like Anti-Tracker says, there's truth to what it was saying, right? It stayed true to a degree. They cared about what they got. However, with Discovery, I feel like it's so different from what Trek has been that did we really need it? Now, people are going to disagree who like it and say absolutely because they like it, right? Because they brought it back. But if you feel like it's a betrayal of what Trek was or what it's supposed to be, then is it really worth to have something that's a betrayal? And I believe that sometimes things end, well, everything ends, right? Everything has an ending. So it all comes down to if you think the ending, if you think Trek should be ended at this point, or if it should go. Is nothing better than what you got, than a betrayal?
And, you know, at this point, it's like, I don't know. I don't... The thing is that Discovery, while the first few episodes, I would probably say, yeah, I'd rather have nothing than this one. However, I would also say that the last few episodes have been pretty watchable.
Right.
So I don't think that that's going to be universally true, and I'm hoping to see more improved stories when the second half of the season starts in winter.
Well, they're getting better. I really feel like that. I would agree with anyone who said that. Especially the more I see Lorca. I wish it'd focus on Lorca. I really like Lorca. Brandon G says no, Trek was dead. It's closer to DS9 with the darker side of the Federation. I don't know about all that. The college on Twitch the college student says, here's the short answer. Were the prequel movies good for Star Wars? Fair enough.
Compared to the current film?
Yeah, don't give any spoilers. Anti-Tracker, check him out on YouTube. Well, he doesn't have one yet. Just type Anti-Tracker in or click below when this goes live for on demand. But he's not the hugest fan of the movie. He's going to be coming out this week with something on it too. All right, how do I get out of here? I'm done. How do I leave?
Playing it.
Alright, I'm going to invite some people. We'll do some runs, because I'm done with this winter wonderland. Okay, guys, here's what I want you to do, whether you're in Twitch or on the YouTubes. I want you to go ahead and, like we did before at the beginning, and I'll do another giveaway, I want you to send a tweet to @TrekOnlineGame. I think. Let me double check what theirs is, just to be sure. Don't you love it when I do a sing-song voice?
That's so not fair.
What?
Klingons hit me and all my shields just instantly went down, and now I'm about to die again.
Well, don't stop sucking at the game. Is Twitter down? Twitter's not working for me.
I don't know. I don't tweet.
How do you not tweet? There it is.
Huh?
How do you not tweet?
I don't have a Twitter account.
Alright, so I want you to send a message to @TrekOnlineGame, TrekOnlinegame, and to @LoreReloaded. Let them know what you've loved so far about this, and I'll give you a T1 Enterprise. So go ahead and do that. And you know what? They love it when you like do it 3 times in a row. So if you wanted to do that, just go ahead and just tweet them 3 times. They love it. Yeah, they love being tweeted 3 times in a row. So go ahead and do that. We'll pick somebody in just a moment, a momente, as they say. I bet you didn't know that. That's Latin.
Really?
Yeah, momente.
Momente is Latin.
It is, in fact. Well-known Latin, actually. So, you're welcome. And then I'm going to get out of this once I figure out how to do that, and we will. My hide-and-seek for Q was fun, says Alexander Lang. Yeah, I hate it. Man, I play this game casually. That's one thing I told Perfect World. I was like, hey, I enjoy doing partnerships. I like doing Trek. I enjoy all of this, but I am not a solid player by any means.
Not what you would call a team player.
No, not a team player. Someone who just knows this inside and out.
Yeah, I think you should say that. That would have been great.
Can I add you in game? Yeah, send an invite. I'll accept it. LOL, I don't have Twitter or Facebook. The studio heads need to stop smoking crack and stop trying to ruin Roddenberry's vision. Well, there you go. Well, if Trek is about pushing agendas like the original series was, Star Trek Discovery does that in spades. This is one thing I'll say, and you and me talked about this earlier. They tried something new.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
Yeah, I'll give them that too. They tried something new. It used to be Ensemble, and they said, we're not doing Ensemble.
Because, we want it to suck.
Because we hate success. They did try something new. I'll give them that. And beyond that, they did a couple of other things as well. They just tried a lot of different things. They did try new things, and that is at least going outside of the box. I think it failed. I think they need to move away from it. But what can you do, right? All right, what am I doing here, Michael?
I don't know, but I'm getting my butt kicked.
Well, stop losing. What level are you right now?
25.
Oh.
Whoa, all of a sudden this Klingon ship's got massive new abilities. I'm just getting... I got 1% hull left. I think I'm about there. We go. Need a better ship. But I can't get a better ship because I don't have enough rank.
How do you not have enough rank, sir?
Well, I'm only a commander, and to get the next ship up, I would need to be a captain. I mean, I suppose I could trade in the Secure and get something bigger.
The Acura is the best ship on planet Earth.
Well, except that this game is played in space, sir.
Well, then maybe that's why you're not doing well, because it's only good on Earth.
Well, see, that would be a problem.
My username is lorereloaded at Lasoyo. Invite me to team, says Star Crazed Mike. I will do that. I will do that right now. Who the hell is that? Commander Salvor and in some special ship of specialness.
special ship of specialness.
Mm-hmm. So are they going to kill off Michelle in the 2D half of the season? Michelle. Trade with... They're not going to... Are you talking about Michael? I don't think they're going to kill off Michael. No. At all.
It's not a typo. It is Michael.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to kill off Michael in the slightest.
Yeah, that would be stupid as far as... I mean, just the whole show revolves around her.
Right. Even if they moved away from her, so many people would be upset. You know? So, yeah, they aren't going to be doing that in the slightest. We'll be playing a little bit longer. I will do a few more, 1 or 2 more giveaways, and then I think we'll be calling it the night.
I need a way to beat this stupid Klingon ship. Any suggestions?
I'm sorry, I was reading what someone said. What was the question?
I was asking how do I beat this Klingon ship?
The power of love?
It's not working.
The power of love.
Although apparently the power of love can be fatal in Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but...
No spoilers, first off.
Oh man! By the way, when my review for Star Wars: The Last Jedi comes up, if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch my review unless you don't plan on seeing the movie.
Can you give us something that isn't spoilery that you didn't like?
In some ways, this is the Star Trek Discovery of the Star Wars franchise, in my opinion. They do some visually exciting things. They do some interesting different things. They definitely try to take a different direction with some stuff. But overall, they completely take a massive dump on all Star Wars lore from, the 6, the 3 original films, the 3 prequel films, and even The Force Awakens. A lot of people that watch The Force Awakens for the last couple of years have been speculating all over the place about various questions, about who is Rey or who is Snoke, or why does Rey have such a strong ability in the Force and stuff like that. And those questions are...
Don't give spoilers now.
No, I mean, some of those questions are answered, and when you hear the answer, all you can do is scratch your head and say, what were they thinking? That's the best way to put it.
That's the nicest way, if they will say.
Yeah. For some reason, they just they just kind of crapped all over the lore. And I find that really disturbing. I don't like the fact that it really seems like the producers of this film just don't give a crap.
Do you think, because wasn't there an issue with JJ having to get out of it and everything, or...
No, JJ was never the director of this film. I can't remember. There was another director that they ended up firing, and they were going to pull JJ in, but then they got this guy, and JJ's going to direct the next film, but this film is extremely inconsistent with the last film, so it's going to be weird to see what happens when JJ takes back over on the next film, and then this guy is getting an entire trilogy of films, and if he's doing the next, several Star Wars installments, I'll tell you, it's going to be a rough 10 to 15 years, because a lot of people, and I know you're a fanboy of Star Wars, and there's a lot of people that love Star Wars, and they love the way that the stuff in Star Wars works, and guess what? None of that stuff works that way anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I don't mind watching spoilers, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone now, but they do go different directions with the Force, and I'm going to have to watch it, but I'm not completely sure I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to have to see how they do it, but yeah, they seem to do things that even like Jedi Masters during the Clone Wars, who had studied for 80 years, couldn't do.
Right.
And that concerns me.
Yeah, the Force is, yeah, the Force is just pure magic. As far as, I mean, it's always been kind of magic, but it's like you can just, the only explanation for anything is the Force.
Right.
And
go ahead.
that's kind of the thing is that people have always, like, with little inconsistencies with Star Wars, people have always said, oh, well, it's the will of the Force. That's why Rey is a great pilot, or that's why Han happens to be in the right place at the right time all the time, stuff like that.
Right.
It's the will of the Force. And to a certain extent, you can get away with that, and that's fine. But, and this is the big thing when you're doing science fiction or fantasy. In both cases, you can make up any crazy thing you want to, but you have to follow the rules of your own universe. So, for example, in Star Trek, if the rule is you have to lower the shields in order to use the transporters, then you have to lower the shields to use the transporters. Now, that's a completely arbitrary rule because you could, of course, make a universe where that's not the case.
Right.
But if that's the rule you establish, then you need to work within that limit. And that actually makes it a more interesting universe when you have limitations to it. Because if you make things too uber powerful all the time, then it gets boring very fast.
Right.
And the Force has some interesting ideas. And this, I'm not going into any kind of spoiler territory with The Last Jedi, but we'll just talk about The Force Awakens a little bit and compare it to the first 6 films. Because as much as people like to malign the prequels, and I am, James, I am not a prequel lover. All right, I love the original trilogy. Not a big fan of the prequels, but I will say the prequels, as badly written, badly directed, and badly produced as those films were, they at least tried to be somewhat consistent with the Star Wars mythology. In the prequels, while granted they added the boneheaded explanation of midichlorians, but they didn't change fundamentally how the Force worked. The Force was still something that it took years and years of training to even acquire a basic usage of, a conscious usage of, beyond subconscious use that is innate with anybody who's Force sensitive. So anybody who's Force sensitive would naturally have better reflexes than everybody else. They would tend to gravitate towards things like being a good pilot and stuff like that because that requires reflexes. Makes sense. But you don't start using Force abilities just because you happen to have the Force. That takes years and years of training. Especially
advanced Force abilities.
Right.
The manipulation of a person's mind is not exactly the easiest thing to do in the universe, or hasn't.
Right, and Obi-Wan was considered a master because he was so good at the mind trick.
Right.
Same with Qui-Gon, of course, in his day. But notice, when Qui-Gon used the mind trick, it was very consistent with when Obi-Wan used the mind trick.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of difference there. Really the only newer kind of Force abilities we saw in the prequels was Yoda deflecting Force lightning. Is really the only thing we really saw that was new. But the rules of how the Force worked and everything was pretty consistent. Now, in Star Wars The Force Awakens, it seems like the Force is now like your fairy godmother. It just gives you powers. And so Rey, literally in the middle of a fight, closes her eyes and wishes, and she gets the power, and then she beats Kylo Ren. That makes no sense whatsoever. And here's the problem, and I'm not going to get any spoilers, but a lot of people have tried to come up with defenses for this. And even you and I have had some arguments about, well, why is Rey so powerful? Why is she such a Mary Sue? And various people would come up with different explanations of why they think she has these abilities that might make a certain amount of logical sense. And then they say, you'll see when the Last Jedi comes out, they're going to show that this is what happened. Nope. No, none I'm sorry. None of the explanations that anybody has come up with that make any kind of logical sense as to why Rey would have force powers, none of them are in this movie.
Right.
Rey is simply a Mary Sue. She simply has force powers because she has force powers. And that's stupid. That it doesn't make any kind of sense that Rey, who is, again, not going to give any spoilers, she's not a Skywalker. We know that from The Force Awakens because we know that Luke doesn't really know her, and Leia doesn't really know her. So she's not a Skywalker, and thus she is not a direct descendant of the one person who was conceived by the midichlorians directly, which is the single most powerful Force-using family in the universe. She's not one of them, and yet she's more powerful than any of them.
Right. Ska says, love how the Trek podcast got spun into Star Wars. As much as it's good to talk about it, I'm sure Perfect World Cryptic will like it.
Perfect World should love the fact that I'm dumping on Star Wars.
Now, see, here's the agreement I had with Perfect World. I'm not going to be playing any other games on their Twitch, and I do whatever I want beyond that. And that's in writing. But beyond that, I don't see an issue with it.
You can actually take off your clothes.
Yeah, you know, exactly. When I said that, that's exactly what I meant. I even clarified. I was like, "Can I take off my clothes?" And they said it's in writing. Yes, yes. In fact, they endorsed that. No, but yeah, as long as I'm not playing any other game, they don't care. And people are watching. People are watching me play this game. I have people join this game because I've been playing it, because I've been endorsing it. So I think they're pretty happy with the agreement we've had. But yeah, I mean, again, within reason, I can talk about anything I want.
By the way, did you invite Crazed Mike to the team because he was asking?
I did, in fact. He's on my team right now. Tribbles are better than porgs. Please don't take off your clothes, says XQXFML.
I second that, yeah.
Oh, I would third that.
I will say this. The porgs are... There's no point to them. I mean, they're there... honestly, I think they're there just to sell porg toys. But they are cute. They're not offensive. They're not Jar Jar Binks or anything. You know, there's nothing about the porgs that inherently bothered me about the film.
Oh my god, I'm about to get killed.
And Tribbles, now Tribbles were, definitely have the advantage of being first. Tribbles been around since the 60s. And
well, a lot of people like to make the jokes because I know you don't actually watch my content. I did a battle breakdown of the Klingon Tribble War.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So yeah, it's an ongoing meme now because I treated it seriously. Mm-hmm. There's a serious lack of information on the Tribble Klingon War.
Well, there probably is, because of all the propaganda about how people think that Tribbles are these sweet, innocent creatures when they're actually quite dangerous.
Didn't we have a conversation about how... I don't know if I actually put it into the video, but I thought you and me had a conversation about how the Enterprise may have indirectly caused that... caused the demise of the...
Well, yeah, because if...
Because they transported onto the ship?
Yeah. And, we don't know what the effect on Klingon physiology that Tribble squeal has. We know that Klingons find it highly irritating.
Right.
And as such, I think that it's pretty clear that, Kirk and Scotty and everybody beaming all those Tribbles onto the Klingon ship was not the nicest thing to do.
Right. Probably caused
it. So close. I had him down to 11% hull, and buddy.
Hainer Tim says, "Great fleets of Tribbles darkening the sky."
But yeah, I do think it's funny because the Klingons. Now, even though Tribbles comes after the Organian peace treaty, was the Tribble infestation. I think here's what we were talking about. It's like. What would happen if, so the Tribbles were on that one ship. That ship, because the Tribbles are so, they're trilling is so damaging to the Klingon physiology that the Klingons on that ship died. It became a ghost ship, and every Klingon ship that encountered it, they would pick up a tribble, and then if they beamed any tribbles over to their ship, that ship would become infected, and these tribbles were a genuine threat to the Empire.
Right.
Like a virus. Not that, you know, that would make a better show than Discovery.
That's the Klingon Tribble War, still a better Trek show than Discovery. That's funny.
I want to see what tribbles end up doing to these new and unimproved Klingons.
Right. That'd be funny if they got upset. But I mean, we may not even see the Klingons after this because they went to the alternate thing, right? The alternate universe.
Yeah. Well, they haven't confirmed yet, but we all know they're in the mirror universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Please. Oh, okay. I already said that. Don't worry, everybody. I'm not going to take off my clothes. Y'all need to just chillax. All right, guys. That's going to be it for now.
People just want to make sure. You know, I think that it's fair that people want to be safe and secure. You know?
Right. Guys, that is going to end it for today. If you've liked this, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe on my YouTube, youtube.com/Lore Reloaded. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Lore Reloaded. Though if I'm doing anything, it's going to be Star Trek Online for the moment. Going to be doing a lot more giveaways. Definitely leave comments. Let me know what you think, what we can do to improve this, how to make it better. Check out the Anti-Trekker. Type in Anti-Trekker or check below in the YouTube description. You'll definitely see a link to him. He's got a couple of great things coming up, and I'm really excited for the video we've talked about that he's going to be doing, not this week, but next week, which I'll be taking off, and then we're going to hit it coming back. Hey, just thank you guys so much because, you know,
I finally beat that Klingon ship.
And he finally beat the Klingon ship, so do it.
Now I gotta beam down to the freaking planet.
Do it for the kids. For the kids.
Beam down to the planet for the kids.
Beam down to the planet.